This is KBEV Channel 6. I'm Basia Hoffman, and welcome to Meet and Greet, an informative educational program taped here weekly in Beverly Hills for the communities of Beverly Hills and Bel Air. I'm delighted that you could be with us, and you've chosen us to view today. We have a guest named Vin Cardinal that I had the pleasure of meeting a week ago and saw him entertain and perform here locally in Beverly Hills. And it was a delightful experience. So here now, I'd like to introduce a man that was born in Trinidad, West Indies, and has lived all over the world, entertaining all over the world as an international singer and a humanitarian, and we'll talk about his humanitarian projects, Mr. Vin Cardinal. Hello.
Thank you, Basia.
I'm so glad that you made it here.
I'm honored to be on your show.
I'm honored to have you, Vin.
Thank you.
So you came from and born in Trinidad, the West Indies.
Yes.
And then after that, you tell me a little bit about, you were in the steel band when you were 12 years old. Let's start there.
Well, it's a situation in Trinidad when steel band started. Kids like me couldn't be in the bands because the leaders of these bands were like, they were fighters, you know, they had little problems between each other, and your parents always kind of shield you from that. And but I made it because my band was in south of Trinidad, and they didn't have a lot of problems. And I became the captain of the junior of that band. So all my kids' friends used to follow me from school.
And then after that, you ended up being #1 in the Calypso and Combo group for the island of Trinidad, and was known all over the West Indies as well. Is that not so?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Right.
I'd love to know the story about how that happened, and then your journey to England. I found that fascinating.
Happened when with the steel band situation, and my mother, my parents didn't want me to do that anymore. I thought it best I had to do something else, you know. And I saw a drum set in the showcase of a shop and said, I want to have that. And I worked hard, you know, getting pennies, shillings, and those days were the war days I'm talking about. You know, the Second War was a long time ago. And got a lot of chips and saved up, bought the drums, and I used to make a lot of noise.
You make a lot of noise.
Yes,
I can't imagine what you would do with the noise.
Drums, because there's no music. I'm just playing the drums to myself. And my mother would be pounding up and said, please, please, please stop, because you can't hear me anymore. So then I made a little house outside. Practiced by myself, and I started playing bongos, and people heard me, musicians, really professional musicians, heard and knew that I would have been one of the best.
Well, you are one of the best. You're being very modest and humble. You are incredible. So when you ended up going, I remember you sharing with me when we spoke that there wasn't that much money to be made in the West Indies,
right. And
you wanted to go somewhere where you would do very well, and you were invited to go to England.
Yeah.
And what happened on that boat trip?
Well, I told you I was such a great drummer, but then I started playing the vibraphone. So I took the vibraphone trying to go to England on the ship, the Ascanian, some Italian boat, Italian again. And while practicing my vibraphone in the room, one of the musicians came around and said, oh, you're a musician? I said, yes, I'm a musician. You see, I'm playing. He said, we need a drummer because our drummer got sick in Barbados. And I said, oh, I play drums. He said, you're kidding me. Come on, let me introduce you to the captain. Introduced me to the captain. The captain said, well, you know, we're going to keep you with us and see if you're going to be okay. And, you know, the ship, those days, the ships weren't like now. Because there used to be my drum set would be running all over the place at the time, to the chairs and the tables, and calling them all the time. Anyway, I would play the drums while they were following. So he said, you can really play. So, you know what? We're going to keep you for the trip to London.
And they paid for your full fare over.
So they say we're going to give you money back.
Right. And then afterwards, when you were in England.
Yeah, when I got there, I called my mom because I had a problem with the sea business. My two brothers drowned, and my mother tried to keep me away from the sea. So I called and told her, "Listen, Mom, I'm coming back to Trinidad because they need a drummer to play again." She said, "Please don't come. Stay in England. We don't want you on the ship anymore." And I did call back, and because they dropped us on the ship in not in London, and from there you had to take a train to go to London. And I told the guy and said, "Listen, I can't make Trinidad anymore because I'm sad about it because so and so is the case." He said, "Okay, we'll drop your things in Trinidad," and that's what he did. Send my baggage back to Trinidad, and they mailed it to me back in England.
And then you stayed in England.
Stayed in England for a few months.
And from there, you lived in London.
Yeah, I lived in London. Yeah, I lived in London because it was happening, and all the Trinidad guys got together,
right,
playing drums, playing music, and they thought I was one of the good drummers, and I stuck with them too. Right. And somebody picked me up and took me right to Sweden.
Now it so happened, you shared the story with me as well, that there happened to be a scout, and you ended up in Sweden. And then from Sweden, you lived there a few years, and then you ended up in Finland.
Yes, Finland.
Tell me about that.
Well, while playing in Sweden, the guy saw me, and he booked. Somebody hired me to play for them in Finland, in this little island, which is the first time I've ever seen the midnight sun. That's where we were on this island. And the agent came up to me. In fact, he sent his a secretary or something, but she looked like you. Very beautiful young lady coming up. And between me and the piano player, we saying, "Oh, she's coming to the table. I want to see you." He said, "No, you see what's that?" And she came and said, "Mr. Winniskowski is a manager, and he wants to talk to you." I said, about your show. And so I said, "Okay." So I walked up to the Mr. Scousey, shook his hand. He said, "I want you to get in front of that drums, because you look so good behind. I know you can look better in front." I said, "But who's going to play?" I said, I taught one of the saxophone player how to hold a tempo. He said, "Okay, let him hold tempo. You come in front." And I did it. And that's where I started my career.
And then after, when you were in Finland?
He said, "You know what, I'm going to have you here for a while." I said, "But what about the band leader?" He said, "Well, we'll take care of the band leader later." So the band leader was very, very upset from Cuba. He taught me to play some more percussion things, make my drumming even much better. So he said, "I'm going to get you a group from Sweden, and you're going to do the tour of Finland." And he brought some pictures. We couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. That was a really gift. Like God sent him there, Took me out of the band. I did a big tourney in the whole of Finland for 6 or 8 months.
And then from Finland, you ended up going to Germany.
Yeah.
And from Germany, you ended up going to
Italy. Yeah.
And you were only supposed to go for 1 month.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you end up staying. Each place you visit, you seem to live in.
I lived in most of the places I worked because people never wanted me to leave. But that's the reason why when I went all these countries, I ended up in Israel. After coming back to the States, somebody took my piano player in Vegas was a Jewish guy, and he was so immaculate in musician. And when he left me, he opened a club in Los Angeles from Las Vegas.
Right. But before we talk about Israel, which is so fascinating, about your journey there and what you did, I wanted to go back for a moment. You're still in Europe.
Yeah.
You were performing and you were continuously a success in all these countries.
All the countries, yeah.
And then, timing again.
Yeah.
You had another agent that saw you that wanted to bring you to Las Vegas. And you were at the Desert Inn.
Right.
Talk about that.
That guy, he saw me in Spain, Mallorca, Spain. But then I played the drums. I already started singing. I told you I learned to sing because in Trinidad I couldn't sing. People wouldn't allow me to. Say you're a vibraphone player, don't try to sing. They didn't even let me try. So when I got out there, I could have tried because people thought I was a good singer, right? And I got through with it. And the guy said, you know what? I had a group in Spain with two girls, one piano player and a bass player, and I'm on drums, vocals, so Vin Cardinal and the Queens, and that just rocked the world.
Oh, I'm sure it
Oh
did.
yes, that I used to sing in this T-shirts and sweat. They love that because I play the drums so good and sang just as well, And this guy came and he said, "This is what I want for Las Vegas. This is exactly what I want." I said, "How are you going to do this?" He said, "I'm going to get you in Las Vegas." He went back to England and got me in England.
And so then you journeyed across to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah.
For an engagement with this hotel.
In Desert Inn.
Desert Inn.
That, yeah.
Right. So you stayed in Las Vegas, and you were going to do only 1 month or 2 months, and you end up there for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Continuously booked.
And the last place I worked was in the MGM before they had the big fire.
That is amazing.
That's when I left for Israel.
Okay, so then you went to Israel. Why Israel?
Well, Israel, because the guy that played piano for me,
that's what you said.
he had a lot of family in Israel that were already stars in Israel. And they say, listen, if Vin has been loved by the Jewish people so much in Los Angeles, let's get him to Israel. So the guy said, we're going to get you to Israel. I said, what am I going to do in Israel? It's camel and sand and trees. He said, you'll be surprised. I said, you know what? I'll go for a month. So I went for a month go into 27 years.
27 years.
Yeah, about
27 years for going for 1 month.
For 1 month, yes.
Now, you landed in Jerusalem, or you landed in Tel Aviv?
No, in Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
And they took me all around. And one of the reasons why I think I was so wanted in Israel, because I did a lot of these the shows for the kids that had cancer, and they were all I never charged for anything like that. All the children that their parents died in the war and they were parentless and things like that.
Right. You had mentioned actually that you had been there for the 6-day war, and then afterwards that there was a period of time when you thought, okay, I'm going to donate my time and your soul, because you did. I saw the footage of you visiting all the vets that were lame and all of the people that were rehabilitating. You donated your time, and the children, of course, who had lost their parents.
Yes, and the cancer, it took the children too, of course, and they loved me so much. They took me into the army bases to show me what happens, when they have a war or something like that. And all the people became, all the generals and this one, it's the Rabin, they all got to know Vin Cardinal, Perez, or they all know me. And then whenever they had anything, they'll call.
Vin, what was the most touching experience during the time that you visited these children? Can you think of one specific or two specific children that touched your heart?
That was a crying time for me, because when you see a kid that's lying there, and they said to you that they won't say it out loud, or even if they say it out loud, they don't understand, because the Jewish people, they don't understand English, and they say he just has 2 or 3 months or less to live, and that hurts. And I'm looking at the kids, and the kids laughing like they don't know, and they had shaved because of the chemo, and what a terrible situation. That one of the reasons why I left Israel 3 years ago, because after the war, the Hezbollah war, I had a friend that worked in the same place with me, as in the kitchen, and another one that was a singer, and they took them out, went to the war, never came back.
Israel's a very interesting place. I also have visited Israel and have been there. It's very dynamic. Yeah. It has a lot of energy. It certainly has energy.
That's what they got.
Even the people, that it seems so tense. People think it's so tense and off. it is a lot of spirit there, a lot of people that have fun. Did you experience that
Yeah,
same
it
type of
doesn't
thing?
matter what happened in Israel. The Israelis gonna have fun in their country.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. The first time when they blew up one of the clubs and so many people died, the day after they were sitting on the side of the street drinking coffee and it's happened, like it won't happen again, you know.
It's
And it
their
happened, kept
state of
happening.
being.
Yeah, they went through a lot of big problems.
And then you went, when you were in Israel, and you were based in Israel,
Yeah.
then you had a chance to go, which I think is incredible, to Moscow, to Poland.
Yeah,
You did a whole bunch of shows.
Yeah,
Tell me what
shows
the people were like there.
Back and forth. Well, especially the one I did in Poland, they had Coolio. Coolio is a rapper man. He's a rap master here.
Right.
And I don't know why they brought him, because the people couldn't speak English. People in Poland don't know English too well. A few of them can say, some lines, but then I had to do the newer American music, like Tom Jones's and the Ray Charles, and that's my trip, you know. And Mr. What's his name?
James Brown. Yeah,
That's
James
my
Brown.
trip, you see. When I went on stage from the big time I started with some reggae and calypsos, and that was the end.
And also reggae, which
Reggae,
you've done,
yeah,
which I
yeah,
saw last
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Also, you do Harry Belafonte, and you know Harry,
Well,
don't you?
yeah, because, people think that I should do Belafonte alone, but it's not good for me to do only Belafonte, because they think I'm copying him, I'll tell you the truth, if a Caucasian guy does Belafonte, I think he'll be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
But me as a black man, as him, no, they won't accept it. Because look, people doing Ray Charles now, and it's okay, because he was something very special. He was something that people want to hear all the time. A lot of people doing Ray Charles show, and with the glasses and it was great to see things like that. But I had my chances to do a lot of different things in different countries, and I'm so happy. I went from Moscow to Poland, every place you can think about in Europe, except the Asian countries. That's the only place I didn't go. China, Japan, all these places. But otherwise, I did it all.
And about all the countries that you went to, was there one specific country that received you better than another country, where you had more success or feeling of being welcomed and have connection with the people?
Yes, one country that I thought was best was Holland. Because when I lived in Holland, my permission, Trinidad and Holland didn't have no sort of relation, not at all. And my time was up, and I made a live album, which was really a live album for then Cardinal, for Philips Records. And that was like 74, 75, 76. And then we said, you know what? You can't do this, so we can't go with your record anymore. I said, but what are we going to do? So you know what? My road management was a woman, and she knew everything, but she's Hollandish. She's Dutch. So she wrote to the Queen.
She wrote to the Queen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Queen replied.
And the Queen replied?
This was something else. When we got the letter, I said, no, I don't believe this. She said, I'll read it for you. And she read it in Dutch, and then she transposed it in English.
And so what happened with that
The Queen
letter?
said, I'm so sorry that I know your music, I'm hearing your music, and I love it, but I can't go against the law of the land. But we're glad to have you back. If you have to go for 6 months or a year, please go and come back.
Oh, that's royalty right there.
That was great.
Actually,
That
you're wearing a purple, which is
You
very
see what I mean?
distinctive of royalty. Oh my goodness.
All I needed the gold chains around the gold applets.
And I know also that you have shared incredible stories with me of all the people you've met.
Oh,
and one of the
yeah.
people that you found to be very interesting and just down to earth was Sidney Poitier.
Oh,
Tell me
we
how you
became
met
very
Sidney
friendly.
and how that
Well,
happened.
when I was in Sweden, we had a place called what is this the girl's name? After a woman, and anyway, I'll get her name after. But he came into Sweden, and somebody directed him to this place, Alexandria's, and he came in there not knowing what Alexandria is all about, and I was on stage with the Queens, and he couldn't believe it. He said, "What is this going on here? This is something else, something special." So we got up, and every evening we would go out. I would drive him around in my car. We go into different restaurants and things like that. And he was really happy. And he said, "You know what? Keep contact. We took pictures. I'll show you some pictures sometime." We really had a ball. For 2 weeks we were together always. He just wanted him to come where it was. Then he went back to the States. Then when I was playing in Mallorca, he read the papers. He was going back somewhere flying, and he saw Cardinal in Mallorca. He landed there, dancing in the audience, and I'm playing and seeing. I said, "This looked like Sydney." He said, "Wave up," and he said. And from then, we never stopped contacting. We just lost contact. I don't know how come we did.
Is he as down to earth as you are?
Oh, he was something else. He speaks with everybody. He sits with everybody. He never run away from crowds or anything like that.
And Vin, you do too. You do
Oh,
too. You're so gracious. I saw
people-
you perform, and you are so gracious and so lovely to watch. And the reggae, from reggae to calypso to top 40 to ballads, it was fantastic to watch you.
The thing, that's why people like my show so much, because I can please everybody in the audience. Nobody gets tired of too much calypsos or too much reggae. I sing ballads, and they relax. And then I get them up to drive and sit. I just go around with people, and I like to be in their company, talk to them. They like to shake hand
and kiss. I also, I'm thinking about how much energy you have on stage, which is remarkable. You are 75 years young.
Yeah, I like the ending up.
Yeah, young. You are. You've got more energy than when I saw it. I thought, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. I have trouble sometimes, and I was watching you, I would say, to keep up with you was enormous. And everyone gravitated to you. For the viewers that are viewing, they need to know that you're so charismatic, and you have your energy invigorates the whole room. And you're at Trilusa, right? You can
Trilusa every Friday and Saturday night in Beverly Hills.
Friday and Saturday night. So anyone can go see you at Trilusa as well.
Trilusa is the corner of Brighton Way and Camden.
And so now, at the time you are in your life, you're living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You're happy in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for you?
Well, I'm trying to get, in fact, they're trying to get me into India or Japan or something like that. But it's not really tight as yet. I think the next place I'll go would be India.
India?
Yeah.
Do you have
But I won't stay there that long like I stayed in Israel. I don't think I'll stay in any other country as long as I stay in Israel.
I don't know.
Because Israel took me home.
I don't know about that, Vin, because it seemed like you had to do a month here and stayed a year there, another 6 weeks there, and 4 years later you're in that country. Then you have never stayed 1 month in any country. You end up living there.
Yeah.
And the last, of course, Israel for 20,
That's
whatever
right.
it was, years. So India, I hope we don't lose you to India.
I don't know. I don't think they have the kind of money that I asked for. That's what they were debating now.
Where would you go in India?
There's a place called Chennai.
Chennai?
Yeah.
Where is that?
And you know why I really backed off on that after a while? You remember they had some bombing, a lot of train bombs?
Yes.
The last stop was Chennai.
Wow.
And they didn't catch up with Chennai.
So that's something. Well, you're going to let us know, because we're going to follow you. We're going to follow you and keep posted. I know that we'll stay in contact, certainly.
Yeah, for sure.
And wherever you are in the world, you can always drop a note and a postcard.
That would be nice to keep in touch with you, because you have a fabulous show.
Thank you.
The
Thank
way
you so much.
Take people up, everybody likes it. Basia.
Oh, thank you so much. We certainly try and provide a service for the community, and that's very nice of you to say that. That's very nice.
I say what I see.
That's great. So now the future holds India, perhaps
Maybe,
Japan.
yes. Perhaps Japan, yes.
But right now it's Los
Right now
Angeles.
it's Los Angeles because I want to build something in Los Angeles. The only way you can do that is to stay in the country for a while. If I keep moving on, then even Tralusa is a small place. Everybody asks, what are you doing in this place? You should be, you should be, you should be.
Yeah.
They can't get me, but I should be. They can't get me there. But I can do it if I stay there for that long because a lot of people, I'll get a lot of contacts from that place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as far as the humanitarian projects, that's up and coming, and that would be even nice as far as keeping in touch with the people that you have had contact with, and perhaps locally also.
Local, I'd like to do something here. Some people call already, but they have to get the right time.
I know.
Because my time is so. Sometimes I look in my book and they call and say, no, this is not the right date. Okay, we'll call you back and let you know.
Well, you know what? It was a pleasure. I enjoyed this so much. You've been a pleasure. And your energy is so great.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Well, here we go. We're at Meet and Greet. I'm Basia Hoffman. And you can reach us anytime at 310-282-1444. Again, we enjoy all your comments and incoming calls. Just keep on watching, keep on viewing. I'm Basia Hoffman. Have a great day.